Hey, everybody. Hello. Good to see you guys. All right, let's just make sure everybody can see and hear me okay. Camera looks to be on, sound looks to be on. All right. Yes, my one-woman video crew. We are doing good. All right, so happy to see you guys here. Thank you for jumping on. And if this is the first time that you're watching one of my videos, this is the SoulPet live stream. It is a channel that's dedicated to all of us who are looking for messages of hope and healing after our animal companions have crossed to the other side. And I've got so much to cover tonight, so much that I want to talk about. And we like to do a little preamble first. So if you're watching this as a recorded video, or if you're unsure how things go, we just take a minute or two to let everybody get a moment to jump on, and we kind of do a little catch up. And I will share with you some things that I want to catch up with you guys about, and also just to introduce myself. If you haven't been on the channel before, I'm a Reiki master, chaplain, and medium, all for animals. So everything I do is based in animals, and all the animal clients that I've worked with over time have really led to the creation of this challenge. Led to the creation of this channel, which is supporting others experiencing grief after the loss of an animal companion. If you're new to the community, you may want to go through the comments. Feel free to post. We are very supportive of each other. We are, in fact, the group of people who joins every Monday night is incredibly supportive of anybody new who is joining and seeking a community and support from others who have been through the same thing with their animal companions. Okay, so I should also do the whole thing. You know, if you find this video useful, please like, please subscribe. I don't think anybody needs to be told now that you click the little thumbs up and you click the little bell icon. That's the way that you like and subscribe. And also, I would recommend sharing these videos out. If not tonight's video, then any video to anyone who you think may benefit from hearing messages of hope and healing after they've lost an animal companion, and getting support from others in the community. Okay, that's my spiel. And I want to share with you, so I'm not in my normal space. I am in a completely blank room. There's a mattress where I'm sleeping. And I'll explain the reason behind that in just a moment, but I'm not in my normal space. So I'm learning to wing it, because I want to begin traveling. I want to begin traveling everywhere. And that means that these videos, there may be a time when I have to record or do these videos at like 2 o'clock in the morning in order to keep our time here. But it's an hour later than usual for me. I do 6 p.m. Denver time, 7 Central, 8 Eastern time. And I'm right now in the Central time zone. So usually this is an early evening video for me, but now it's a little bit later, and yeah, it's very dark. But anywho, so I'm going to check some comments real quick. And for this particular video, the topic is going to be reincarnation, but I think addressing it in a whole new way. And I'll explain to you why I have looked at it from this perspective. But first, let me say hello to everybody. I know I've seen Pat here. Pat, it's good to see you. Sharon, great to see you too. Cheryl, awesome. Hey, you know, I just can't even imagine what I look like on a TV. It's bad enough on a little screen here in front of me on my laptop. Okay, so Sherry, good to see you as well. Lauren, Kali, Kathy, Donna. Oh, wait. I got to go to Hideous Sales. Let me remember. That's Lauren, right? Hang on. I keep a little note for those of you, right? We keep these live streams real, everybody who may be watching this for the very first time. Yeah, Lauren. Okay. And Kali is, and then there was none. Okay. And I haven't seen Irish Beater on yet. That's Carol. Okay. So I am looking at this from a whole new perspective, reincarnation from a different perspective. And I would love for you guys to ask questions. So every once in a while, I'm going to go over to the comments and I'm going to look for questions, because the way that I'm going to introduce this topic, it will most likely bring up questions. But I'm going to start from the very beginning. So who else did I? Kathy, Sherry, Jody. Hey, Jen. And thank you, Jen. And okay, I think I'm all caught up. So it is hard. This is hard, but I am really, really hoping that with tonight's perspective, I can give you a whole new spin on why it's okay, on why everything is always okay, why it's just going to be okay. Now I flipped my notes to get to my names to make sure that I had everybody's names right. So I have a couple things to share. The first one may tug at your heartstrings, but it is not meant to. It's going to tug at your heartstrings because that is the way that we are. It's the way that we're socially conditioned to respond to death. And I mean, if that is the one thing that I could do with this channel is to help people rethink the way that we approach the end of life, it would change everything. It would change everything. We would not have to enter this level of sadness if we understood what I think really happens. Okay, so I am right now in the fine state of Wisconsin, Jen. I am in Wisconsin because my family, my son and his family purchased a home here. So I've gone from Colorado to Wisconsin, and we're going to be going back and forth between the two places. I will have my own little sanctuary here at some point. I shouldn't say sanctuary because I'm not going to have animals. I will have my own little magical space here at some point. But for now, I'm operating out of a blank bedroom. So I'm going to be traveling back and forth between Colorado and Wisconsin, and I love to travel. I want to begin exploring all kinds of places. And there's something that brought that up for me this week. Some of you know this and some of you don't. And I do appreciate in advance, I appreciate all the thoughts of condolence and all of the support and all of the emotional support that people have given me all week and that I'm sure will continue to come through. My beautiful mother-in-law, who was, you would often catch her in the comments. She watched this pretty regularly, almost every Monday. Her name is Claudia, and I don't remember if that was her name on here or not, but she made her transition last week. She made her transition on Thursday, and she is now waiting at the Rainbow Bridge for her beautiful Prince Charming. She has a cat named Prince Charming. And it raised in me the conversations that I've had with Prince Charming and the conversations I continue to have with my beautiful mother-in-law, who was a healer, a true healer. She had magic that I don't even think she realized how strong and powerful she was, and how connected she was. And she was all about angels. She, besides being a physician, she was a healer. She knew how to get to the root of a problem and not just treat the symptoms. And beyond that, spiritually, she was really into angels. And on the morning of her crossing, it was before she had crossed, when I was outside, I took a beautiful cloud picture, and I just went back and found a lot of cloud pictures from you guys. I can't wait to post them. And it was a beautiful angel in the clouds. And I knew instantly that was the day. I knew, I honestly thought that she had already crossed, but it wasn't until later that day. But regardless, it has to do with exactly what we're going to talk about tonight, which is reincarnation and what that really means, and why I think that you should take literally everything that I'm sharing with you. It's not meant to be a metaphor. It's not I wish that were really true. I hope it's really true. I want to feel, if it resonates with you the way it resonates with me, that it's a real thing. And that when we leave our physical bodies, whether it doesn't matter if we're human or animal, when we leave our physical bodies behind, the energy does not just disappear and go nowhere. But anyway, it was Claudia who, and her transition, that got me to really diving into the reincarnation thing, because I continued to talk to her. I still continue to talk to her. I talked to her today, as a matter of fact, about Prince Charming, who is a kitty cat on this side of life, who is struggling with his humans passing. So as much as Prince Charming was Claudia's Prince Charming, she was his everything. She was his world. And so he's going through a grieving process that I want to talk about as part of this tonight. I might have to turn on a ceiling fan, so bear with me a minute. It is warm here now. I'm sitting on the floor, guys. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm sitting on the floor because otherwise this giant light is just going to be like shining down on top of me. And my little granddaughter is sticking her fingers under the door. Okay, let me just see. I was able to save a pup from a certain death at a shelter. Beautiful. Not connecting to her at all, and have a wonderful family who wants. Okay, so we're on a little bit different topic. That's cool. I love that you guys talk amongst yourselves. That's part of being community, is that we have this opportunity to share and really get to know each other and find ways to support each other. Okay, so that's where I wanted to go with why I wanted to dig deeper into reincarnation. Just like signs fact, that makes, where's my pen? I want to make a note about signs, because I think things like asking for signs is more than just a way for us to stay connected with our animal companion on the other side. I think it's a lot more than that. I think it is crucial that we ask for signs and look for signs, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So let me tell you about Prince Charming. Prince Charming is the kitty cat who remains on this side of life. And Prince Charming is right now going through a grieving process, and has for a couple of days not come out of a closet, has hidden himself in the back recesses of a closet. And so I was asked today, at which I've been actually talking to him pretty regularly since the illness first happened that resulted in Claudia's transition. I have been talking to Prince Charming pretty regularly, but today was asked specifically because he hasn't come out of the closet. And so what I did was have a conversation with Prince Charming, the same as I would have with any human companion. And this may be something you want to consider in the future if you've got animals who have a family member, whether it's human or animal, another family member who crosses over. I had the same conversation I would have with any of my human people and human people with any human, and that is that her energy has not left you. Her soul, her personality, nothing has left. It doesn't disappear. I had that same conversation, reminding him that she's actually sitting there right next to him in the closet. If he would just relax for a moment, just relax. And I focused on purring. I really focused on purring. I've never purred, but I focused on what it would feel like to purr and allow my body to calm. That's actually a form of meditation. It means many things. Different purrs mean many things. But I was focused on purring that was more of a meditation, that would calm him, that would help him create the space within himself to feel that she was still there. And then this is all in my mind. I hold these conversations in my mind. I conversed with my mother-in-law and said, would you please just talk to him? Talk to him, coax him out of the closet. Let him know that he will still be treated as royalty. Where he is now, even though he's not the only kitty cat now, there's more than one, that he will be treated with the royalty that he deserves. And to remind him that everybody knows that he is Prince Charming. And didn't he come out of the closet? It was beautiful to get the message back saying, well, I don't know what you said, but that worked. And it's not just a trick that worked. It's really something important that worked that I hope you guys will do too. And this all ties into reincarnation. We shouldn't even call it reincarnation. That word comes with so much baggage. And if there was maybe there is a different word as I go through some of these things. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what I think it means. I'm going to talk a little bit more about my armchair quantum physics. That's what I call myself, an armchair physicist now, or an armchair physics student, as I really try to understand the reality, if that's the right word to use, behind things like reincarnation and why we can get signs and why we should get signs and why we can stay connected to our animals and human companions on the other side of life. Before we go any further, I see the comments scrolling by, so I'm just going to take a quick check. Thank you very much, Judy. I do appreciate that. Lost your potato on Saturday. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. So it feels like all the warmth got sucked out of your house. So bear with me. And maybe we can help you get to a place where you can feel that again. When I really kind of explain how this works, I'm trying, because I personally have no doubts anymore about anything, pretty much about anything. I have no doubts. I have no doubts about my continued existence after death. I have no doubts that I've lived prior lives. I have no doubts about why this has all just come to me now after all of my lifetime here on planet Earth, why I've had the connections with people that I do, why people come in and out of my life, why animals come in and out of my life. I have no doubts about any of it anymore. I have no doubts about my all these silly words, supernatural, psychic, all about my natural abilities, my natural, not just abilities. I mean, it's my right. It's not my right, my gift. It's my birthright. Is that the better word? We are all born with this stuff. We just forget it. And there's a reason why we forget it, but I trust in all of that now. I have no doubts in any of it. Okay. So let me, and I hope we can help you. Just ask Scout to go over to Prince Charming. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That would be beautiful. Even, yeah, I would ask for all of that mutual help, Jody. We also, there's another mutual soul that we connect with on the other side who loves kitty cats that might be able to help Prince Charming as well. So I will also reach out to our Freddie. And let's see, a little memorial, added a few pictures, lighted a candle. Those things all work, and not only work, those things are important to do. So what Sherry just described about creating a memorial with pictures, like I've got in my home, I have got it's like a small countertop, and on the countertop are my little rainbow bridge poems, the little pieces of fur, the clay paw prints, their leashes, photos. It's like a little altar almost to them. I think it's so important. So, so important. And little crystals. I have some crystals along there as well. I'll explain why I think that's important in just a moment. Are they off catching up? Well, the easy answer to that question is yes. They're off catching up. They're more than off catching up. They have nothing to catch up on because they've been staying caught up all along. They are right there with you. Oh my gosh, wait, I can't wait to get to some of this, but I really have to give you kind of a lead in first, and that little teeny weeny lesson to the best of my ability, as I'm not a physicist, the best of my ability, my understanding of energy and what makes everything go round. I still have some questions. There are still things that I need to look further into. There's something about water. I've mentioned this before. There's something very powerful about water that I have not been able to wrap my mind around yet. And I think that there may be a way for us to make a connection through water to souls on the other side. Gravity is the other thing that I'm trying to get a handle on. The role that gravity plays in keeping us in these bodies and letting the other energy flow out once we leave the physical body. Water, gravity, there was something else too. But anyway, I kind of digress. Let me just make sure there's no other comments here that I want to talk about. He's already there. Thank you. It's just so fresh, right? And also in terms of the closeness with which they cross, and in terms of time here, we're going to talk about time this evening too. It keeps it very fresh to us. You guys all know Jack, Lucy, Winston, all within 18 months, Jack and Lucy within 1 week. There's someone else here, Ocean Lee, who I don't see on here this evening, but Ocean Lee, whose horse's dog, in a very, very short period of time. It is soul crushing because we don't understand that it doesn't have to be. We don't understand the exact connection that we can still have with them and that we should still have with them. So let's have this little lesson. We're going to do a reading tonight. A reading tonight is for Selfie. Now, I haven't heard from Selfie's human. I haven't heard back from Selfie's human. And I'm wondering if it's Selfie or Sophie. That came up. And I'm not even sure where in the world. I'm going to go with Selfie because that was the message that was in the email. But you know how autocorrect works. It might have been Sophie. But so we're going to do that reading tonight as well, directly tied to reincarnation. So let's start with quantum physics. If anybody at all is familiar with quantum physics, I would love for you, if there's anything that I say, I am really talking about this from a layman's perspective. Like, this is my understanding of physics, and I'm not a physicist, but it's really important to understanding why we can reincarnate. And so if anybody has anything they want to add, feel free to put it in the comments. And if Jen, that's right, your girls with 9 months apart, if you want to put your thoughts in the comments, or if any questions come up, the more questions I get, the easier it is for me to address. So, for example, I'm just going to back up for a second because one of you had asked a question in an email this week. You guys asked the best questions. And it's a complicated answer. It's an easy and complicated answer at the same time. And I'm going to make it part of next week's video. And that's because it's a topic such as, I'm going to use the example of animals. Why are some animals abused? Why are some animals euthanized? Why are so many of them euthanized? Why do so many of them end up in shelters? Why do so many dogs end up in shelters? And then why do others seem to have the luck of the Irish? Why do others end up in beautiful homes, born into beautiful situations, and they are loving companions? What happens to all the other animals? But the question that was originally phrased to me was about people, specifically related to all of the natural disasters that we've witnessed recently, and the flooding and the hurricanes and that kind of stuff. Why are some people impacted, others not? Are some just lucky? Are some not lucky? But there's a legitimate answer to that question, and I hope to have more answers for that next week, framed in from the perspective of our animal companions. So quantum physics. Quantum physics really deals with the nature of everything. And people who are physicists really want to prove how everything works. So think of Newtonian physics. So that's Newton, Isaac Newton dropping the apple. There was gravity. It's why the gravity still confounds me a little bit. Drop the apple, and that's like the law of gravity. No matter what you drop, it's going to fall to the ground. And quantum physics wants to explore way beyond that. Quantum physics wants to get down to the inner workings of the universe, of everything. Why is the earth where it is? Why does everything spin in motion? Why is everything always in motion? Why does the shape of a flower, the seed of a flower, resemble the swirl in a seashell, and the structure of our DNA, and the way that our irises are, and the way, so there's so much interconnected. But quantum physics tries to explain that entire interrelationship, and the interrelationship of all that is material, all that is in the universe, how it got to be, how it gets to be, how it continues to grow, how it continues to expand. And that's what quantum physics tries to quantify. And I promise, butcher this in some way. I'm sure there may be a physicist out there going, "Oh my God, just stop." But I think that I have a pretty general understanding of, and in the most fundamental way, how this works and why it proves that we can reincarnate and that we have reincarnated. So let's start with that. So the nature of energy. We have to accept for ourselves, I mean, that everything is made of energy. We are taught this scientifically now from not just traditional science, but from contemporary quantum physicists, that everything is made up of energy. So whether it is this mouse, or it is me, or it's a squirrel, or it's water, everything, even emotions, everything is a form of energy. So everything, doesn't matter. It's just organized in a way that makes it appear to be a mouse, or eyeglasses, or a pillow, or shoes, or a person, or an animal. It's energy organized in a certain way that allows us to take this form. Okay. So energy, everything is made of energy, and that extends far out into the universe. It's everything. Every planet, every space dust, everything is made of energy. How does it get to organize itself in the form that it is? That's the quantum field. The quantum field is full of all this energy. The quantum field, or the unified field, or the field of infinite possibility, it's been called many things, but science now also recognizes that this field exists. And it's not something you go, "Oh, there's the field over there. There's the field over there." So it is simply it's everything. It's everything. The field is everywhere, and all of the energy is within it. Tiny little, I mean, it's so tiny and so small, all the little pieces of energy that move so fast that we can't even see them, that we don't even know. But the field is, without getting religious, it's God. The field is the universe. The field is source, the creator, whatever you want to call it, whatever you associate as your highest power, the higher power that created us. If we're just going to think about us here on earth, that is the field. It is the field of everything. The energy is there, and the field organizes the energy. And this is where it's going to get kind of squirrely. It's a mutual thing. So the energy chooses to organize in a certain way and uses the field so that it organizes itself in that certain way. So as Elaine, the animal Reiki lady, I chose to organize myself into this physical incarnation of me right now. And when I do that, I don't remember, for the most part, I don't remember other incarnations. I don't remember future incarnations. Their time in the quantum field is much different also. It doesn't go linear like we have here on Earth. It doesn't go past, present, future. It's always there. So memory is not necessarily past. Memory is past, present, and future. So hopefully you're still with me, you guys. I believe reincarnation is simulation theory, and you get into a new avatar. So very much like the movie Avatar. Very much like the movie Avatar. And I'm just going to write this note down so I don't forget simulation theory. Okay, so let me go through this first, and then I'll get back to simulation theory because I think it's really similar to that. But I don't want to get too confused by bringing in too many things. So the nature of energy is that everything is energy. Everything is energy. It's just vibrating at a certain speed that makes it dense or it makes it not dense. So if it's dense, like we've created a physical object, like a mouse, it's a form of energy. The ceiling fan blowing above me and the air, that's a form of energy. And it's in the field. Now, that energy, as we learn, now we give a lot of credit to Albert Einstein, but Albert Einstein, by the way, had several compatriots who helped him through all these things. But someone like Albert Einstein, that we trust the science that he taught us, says that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It simply changes form. And I've shared this analogy with you guys before, and that's water. So you can have water. The simple analogy is you can have water and you can boil it. It becomes steam. It rises into the air. It gets into a cloud and the cloud rains it back down on us. That's the simplest example of reincarnation, but it's actually not that simple. But think about water. Water can take any number of forms. We've talked about this before. Ice, a river, an ocean, snow, rain, tears. That water can take many, many different forms. So, but it cannot literally be destroyed. It does not ever disappear. It simply transforms. So when our animal companions, when their physical body is done and it is time for them to release the physical body, our physical bodies have a limited lifespan. There's just no getting around that. They have a limited lifespan. When their soul leaves their body, their energy, their soul, their personality, their consciousness, whatever you want to call it, when it leaves the body, it returns to that energetic field, but it retains its consciousness. So that energy is fully aware when it goes to the other side, that it is no longer, I'm saying it, but for lack of a better term, it is no longer in a physical body. It is now part of the energetic field. And in cooperation with that energetic field, it can choose to do anything. It can choose to reincarnate. It can choose to come back to Earth. And I'm going to get a little sci-fi on you here. It can choose to incarnate on a different dimension. It can choose to incarnate on a different planet. Don't worry if you guys don't want to go there. It's okay. We can focus with just reincarnating lives here on planet Earth as we know it. It's in our field of vision right now, planet Earth. That's where we are. It's our life. So let's say it can incarnate in any form that it chooses. It can come back again as a dog. It can come back again as a cat. It can come back as a lion. It can come back as a different species. It can come back as a human. Human energy can also decide, like I've said this many times, I don't care if it's just for a day. I would love to come back as an eagle. So I may come back as a bird of prey for just a short period of time, an osprey. So we can reorganize once our energy leaves the physical body. We are in the infinite field of potential, and we can pick any potential that we want and come back into a physical incarnation. Okay, so that's the actual process. I'm trying to explain the physics behind it so that you understand that the energy cannot be destroyed. It just can't be destroyed. There's no destroying. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't disappear. I'm checking my notes as I'm going through this. It doesn't disappear. It's in a constant state of change. Energy is always in flux. There's always change going on. If you've ever, I look at it as a messy room. Your room starts out one day all nice and neat and everything is organized and in order. And by the end of the week, your room's a disaster again. That is energy. It's just shifting and rearranging, and it's natural. It's a perfectly natural thing to do. It's perfectly normal for this energy to devolve so that it can evolve again into something different. So it's always in a state of change. It transforms. So an animal dies, its energy, its consciousness, and its personality doesn't vanish. But here's the thing: energy, once it leaves the physical body, is so fast, it moves so fast that we think it has disappeared. That's why we don't think that Gary and Potato are still with us. We think that it has gone somewhere. That field is everywhere. It's literally everywhere, to, through, and around everything. It makes up all the cells of our body. It's inside our DNA. It's why some of what I'm saying right now, even if I'm not getting it as clear as I want to, it's why it's making sense to you. It's why something is resonating. Something is making you go, oh, maybe. Because it's all connected and it flows to, through, and around us. So that energy, that personality doesn't vanish. It vibrates so quickly that we think it has disappeared. That's why we want to begin to ask for signs. It's why we want to begin to make connections with our animal companion who has crossed, because we need to be shown that the energy has not disappeared. It did not go anywhere. It's right there with us. And that's not a spiritual, metaphysical thing. It is a scientific thing. The energy did not disappear. And you can call on that energy to still be part of your life and to still be connected with you. Okay, so energy essentially moves so fast that you only think it disappears. But it can, this is where it gets really interesting. This is something that I really want to explore with you guys. I'm just checking comments real quick. Okay, we're just going to let you guys chat amongst yourselves. The energy can rearrange itself, but it doesn't have to do so on its own. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna use which animal companion. Let's go with Winston. Let's go with Winston. I was trying to ask one of them to and all three of them. I hear all three names. Like I can't go wrong with all three names. So Winston crossed to the other side in August of 2020, and when Winston left his physical body, I was not present. He chose to leave on his own. He left on his own terms. I was not present. I was devastated. I'm just going to go through this. I was so angry. I was so hurt. I thought he and I had a deal. He was my little soulmate. I thought he was going to sit in my arms and gently pass and allow me to be part of the process. And that was not the case. And when I did come home from work and find that he had crossed, I couldn't feel him, right? I just heard a little baby take a tumble in the other room. Okay, it's all right. It's all good. It's all good. Somebody's crying. We're going to get a big cry if you guys, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's a big cry about to happen. So I didn't feel Winston. And even though I do what I do and I know what I know, I thought, what if he went to the other side without me and he's over on the other side now and I wasn't there. And so he has gone somewhere else, or he's just waiting on the Rainbow Bridge. Or of course, that's not the case. I now I see visions of him all the time. The silly boy's always running on a beach, chasing birds. But so let's go with Winston. Winston crosses to the other side. He has the capability to reincarnate. He can choose to say, all right, I miss my little girl. So we don't know how Winston came to be with us. I swear he was dropped by angels at my doorstep. We don't know where he came from, how he came to be with us. You guys know the story that I was living at the top of a mountain in an RV all by myself and without a soul around me. And Winston showed up one day. And what if, when his energy crossed back to the other side, he thinks to himself, this is a hypothetical, he thinks to himself, I miss the little girl that I used to live with. And I feel him with a little girl. I miss the little girl that I used to be with. I am going to reincarnate and I'm going to come back as a puppy. I am going to reorganize this energy. It doesn't quite get thought in these ways. It's almost like that. But I'm kind of leading you through the way that we would think about it. I'm going to come back as a puppy. I'm going to be reborn. I'm going to end up in this little girl's arms, and she is going to be so happy, and we are going to be the best buds. And that's how I'm going to choose my next life. But there's one more step to it that we can do. We can co-create. We can co-incarnate, if that's a word. Co-incarnate with our animal companions. We have the ability to help manipulate and organize the energy that exists in the quantum field. It's not just random energy in the quantum field. It is energy that we have access to. We're not taught how to do it. We respond to almost everything we do on a daily basis by default. Everything we do is by default, usually our daily routines. And I told you last week that I try to catch myself being aware and being consciously aware. And how many moments in a day do I go, what? Like being on autopilot throughout the day. I want to be consciously aware, because when you are consciously aware, you have the ability to access the quantum field and influence the way the energy organizes. It's the whole basis of law of attraction and manifestation, by the way, that we have this ability to tap into that field. But we all go, but how? How do I get the money out of the field and into the bank? That's what Abraham Hicks says. It's not hard. How we do that is by focused intention. We have to create a relationship, not just with our animal companion on the other side, but with this beautiful field of energy of which we are a part and which we can use our consciousness to connect with. I believe that meditation is the best way to do it, but you can find other ways. People don't have to meditate. There are some spontaneous manifestors out there who are so good at it because it's just a natural part of who they are. For me, it took some practice. It took some practice, and it still takes practice for me to understand how this works. Okay, so I'm making sure I'm not getting too far in my head. So we're co-creating. Our consciousness is co-creating with our animal's consciousness. Let's back away from the whole manifestation thing and focus just on the reincarnation of our animal companions. We want our animal companion to be back in our life. We believe, we trust, we now know that the relationship with our animal companion continues. A soulmate is a soulmate. So our relationship continues even after they leave their physical body. That means that we still have the ability to communicate with them. When we communicate with them, when we communicate with their soul or their essence, it's gotten all blown out of proportion about being a medium or a psychic or a channel. We are simply talking to our soulmate. We're connecting with our soulmate. We are allowing our consciousness, our love, our heart to connect with their consciousness, their love, their heart that just happens to be outside of their physical body. How do we do that? We ask for signs. Great way to begin the communication process. We do automatic writing to receive messages from them. We share messages, just like I did with Prince Charming today. You talk to your animal companion on the other side. They give you mental inspired messages back. They give you feelings back. They send you signs. One of the questions that I think Sharon asked earlier, she said, somebody asked this question about, do our animals know that we can't see them? Yes, they know. And you know why they know? They know now. They know now because we are having these conversations. This is a whole experience. It's a universal experience. The universe is looking for information and input from us the way that we are asking for input and information from it. So when we ask to connect with our animals, they are asking to connect with us. This has been a learning experience. Our animals on the other side now know, oh, she can't see me. I get it now. I will send a sign. I can use the clouds. I can use the water. I can flicker the lights. I can put on music. I can drop a penny. I can let feathers fly. There are so many ways that non-physical energy can use physical energy here on planet Earth. Why do we want to do that? We want to create that relationship that allows them to know that they can reorganize their energy into physical form. And we can invite them to do so, and we can ask them to do so. Now, free will still exists. Free will, they have the ability, if they choose, just like me, if I want to come back as an eagle or a hawk or an osprey, they may say, you may have a cat that says, I want to come back as a mouse, or I want to come back as a bumblebee, or I want to come back as anything, a dog. I want to come back as whatever. They can reorganize that energy in a way that suits them but in a way that we will know who they are. So we can invite them back. We can invite them back and we can ask anything and everything. We can ask to be shown. We can ask to know for certain. We can ask to know what that sign is going to be. Wait till you see what Selfie says her sign is going to be. We can ask to know, and more than just oh, I hope that if I look in this doggy's eyes in the shelter, that will be my animal companion. And it's not just a matter of hope. We can ask for very specific insight and specific guidance to finding our reincarnated animal. They will find a way back to us, whether it is a person or an animal. They will find their way back to us. And sometimes it takes longer than times and others because they want to explore, they want to experience. There's more. They get their own life as well, but we can ask them to come back, and we do so by working with the quantum field. So if you wanted to manifest $1 million, you can watch a bazillion channels on YouTube. There are a bazillion channels on law of attraction, manifesting, make $1 million, say these 6 things, knock these 3 things out of your life, and you'll get $1 million, $10,000 tomorrow. Okay, put the money thing aside. What do we really want? We want our soulmate right by our side. We want our soulmate right by our side. So use the same principles, but use it in order to consciously connect with the energy of your animal companion on the other side. And together, the two of you can create the next relationship. That reincarnation can bring them back into your life. If that makes sense, what I've just explained. I'm going to check the comments. I told Potato, have a bird poop on the windows. There you go. Beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. We know they didn't disappear, but we miss the fuzzy. Yep, we do. We absolutely miss the fuzzy. My husband and I were just talking today about Jack, because my granddaughter loves dogs. It's her first and only word. Everything's a dog. Dog, doggy, 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 doggy. It gets a little much sometimes, but apple doesn't fall far from the family tree. So she loves dogs. And my husband was saying, Jack would have adored her. Jack was a yellow lab, and he was the most loving, patient, gentle, soft soul that you ever would have met. And yes, he would have absolutely adored May. He's the kind of dog that would have let May climb all over him, tug on his ears, pull his tail, kiss his face, grab his cheeks. He just would have loved every minute of it. So I totally understand what it means to miss the physical. But what can I do? I can go to bed tonight. Or I actually, you guys know, I prefer to write. I believe that this is like a magic spell. I've misplaced my magic big pen. Here it is, my great big pen. I would sit down and I would write in my book all about Jack. I would write it all. I would write all about him, all the beautiful qualities, what a gentle, tender soul he was, how loving and caring, how much he would adore my grandchildren, how much I would write all of those things, writing them down in physical form, just like we talked about journaling a couple of weeks ago, which, by the way, is harder than it seems because I only get in a couple days a week. Regardless, I write other things. Like I would write out this beautiful description of Jack. And I would think about him with love. Love is not just an emotion. Love is an actual thing, a tool that we can use to connect. I would talk about him, think about him in the most loving ways. I would literally incarnate him in my mind, think about what he would come back to me as, think about what he looked like as a puppy. We did have Jack since he was a puppy. Think about how much he followed Lucy. Lucy was a year older. He followed her around like she was his mama. I would think about all of those things with the most joyful, loving intentions. Then I am setting the intention right now. I am setting the intention that the beautiful, amazing soul of Jack, who once shared with me in a meditation that he thought he might not ever return, but I might ask him to return right now because at the time I had no grandchildren, how much joy he will get out of life, having little children to play with and love on him and care for him and feed him and play with him. And that is how we ask for reincarnation. That's how we bring them back into our lives. And then we trust, as I trust at this moment in time, there is nothing filling my heart more than the sense of this beautiful yellow lab coming back into my life and being able to hold that scruffy mane in my hands and know that he will come back to me because we have together incarnated. I can feel him now on the other side going, oh, I never thought that you might have that there might be little kitties. I never thought there might be kids for me to play with. I never considered that when I thought about not coming back. Come on back. Let's do it. Come on back. Play with it. Enjoy it. Know that you have abilities far beyond what we have been taught, far beyond what our elementary schools, our grade schools, I know they call them different things in different countries, but far beyond what our traditional education has taught us. We have capacities more than we ever knew and more than we ever dreamed. I'm going to check comments again real quick. 3 days to decompress, 3 weeks for personality to come out, 3 weeks to settle in. If you are talking about bringing in an adopted dog, I work with shelters all the time and shelter animals. Oh my goodness, 6 months is what I usually say. You've got to give it some time. Imagine yourself. Imagine you as a child losing a family, being placed in a cage, having to spend your time in a cage, and then being placed in a new home. No matter how kind and loving they are, you are going to be out of sorts for a while. And it takes just as much work on the part of the animal family, the part of the animal, as it does the human family. But off topic of reincarnation. Jack! Oh my gosh, my Jack! He's the best dog ever, the best dog ever. And I know I say that for me. I know that all of you guys are the best dog back. Kim, missing Beans so much. Talk to him. Talk to him. Talk to Beans, talk to Gary, talk to Potato. They want to connect with us as much as we want to connect with them. I know sometimes I sound like a broken record, but I'm trying to get through that we do not. When my mother-in-law passed and tears are shed, I talk to her every single day because I know that her energy has not left. And I know that I have access to that energy and that I can talk to her and connect with her. Here's the other thing. She was a physician. And not only that, she understood energy healing as well. I can ask her for help. I can reach out to her energy in the field and ask for assistance when I am working on healing, when I need to heal something in myself or a family member or even with animals. She wasn't a veterinarian, but I now have access to all kinds. That information exists for all of us. Again, talking about healing is a topic for a whole nother day. And I don't mean healing emotionally. I mean physical healing. Okay, let me see what else we got. Okay, you guys got the whole foster thing down. Is there a certain amount of time before they can come back? Sherry, the answer to that is flat out no. I know that people with the best intentions, I have practiced with them and studied them with them myself. I've studied with many different teachers in many different modalities, from Reiki to animal communication to mediumship to psychic development. I've had many different teachers, and some of them still resonate with me strongly. Others I've kind of grown away from because I see things from a different perspective now. When I first learned about mediumship, I was taught by a very famous animal communicator that it takes 3 days. And I was taught specifically how a soul leaves a body, which was through the tail, and that it takes up to 3 days for an animal's soul to actually cross over into that energetic field. I get it now after personally connecting with so many animals and feeling the instantaneous. And like Lucy didn't cross into a field of any kind. She didn't go to the Rainbow Bridge. She did not she went into my heart. I felt it when she let out that breath that I breathed in. It didn't go anywhere except inside me. I felt it go inside me. So instantaneous. There is no separation. They don't get stuck between worlds. There is no length of time. There is no separation. The only time is the time that we need. Time moves actually. When I say we learn in Reiki that there's no such thing as time or space, that's not entirely accurate. It's that time moves so fast and the energy moves so fast that we are unable to comprehend it in our physical bodies. So there is zero separation. When our animal companions leave their body, they don't, it's as if nothing has changed. Like one minute they were breathing in air through their lungs, the next minute they're right there outside their body. It's, and even saying instantaneous is what I say. It's saying the word instantaneous is longer than it takes for them to cross into the other side. And they don't forget us, and the energy doesn't disappear. So even if you were to, let's say, all right, you are catching my channel for the very first time and your animal companion crossed 3 years ago, and you go, oh my gosh, 3 years ago, they probably don't even know who I am anymore. I missed my chance for them to reincarnate. Nope, no, they don't. Nope, you haven't. You have not at all. You have access to that energy at any time. There's no set. They haven't been waiting for 3 years, tapping their wrist, going, hello, come on. There's no sense of time the way that we have it here. Um, and there's so much more to this. There's so much more to the whole quantum field thing, but I don't want to overwhelm you with that kind of with all the information. So we'll keep on studying that, because I will keep on studying it. So the short answer is you have access to their energy at any point in time. They are part of your existence. So your energy is forever connected to their energy. And there's no break in that. They don't, like, the string doesn't get too stretched too far, too long, that you can't get that you can't reconnect with them. You are intertwined and interconnected, because we all are. So every single one of you, I'm going to read Donna's comment in a second. Every single one of you is connected to each other. Like, you guys are all connected to me. It's connected to everybody. It's all connected. It's just a matter of 6 times removed. What's that Kevin Bacon thing? Six degrees of separation, that kind of thing. We are all connected in some way. We are all related in some way. We're all connected in some way. And I don't remember where I was going with that, because now I want to read Donna's comment. Elaine, so in using energy consciousness, since they are no longer here, they gain the ability to understand more than they did than when they were alive. 100%, as will you. I can't wait to meet all you guys on the other side. I mean, I can wait. There's things I want to do here on planet Earth, but I do anticipate when I cross to the other side, because you will have access to all the knowledge there is. You will have access to any knowledge that you want to have access to. The universal consciousness and the knowledge of everything is probably more knowledge than we could ever even imagine, and our little human brains can only hold so much of it. But we have access even right now to consciousness that we don't understand. When they cross to the other side, 100%, they know everything. They know everything, and then they can use it to reorganize, knowing full well, just like we did, that when we come back into the physical, we lose some of that overall knowledge. But what I think part of what they want us to know is that we can access any consciousness that we want. If you would like to meditate tonight and connect with, I don't know, Leonardo da Vinci, you most certainly can. If you would like to connect with the Queen of England, you most certainly can. You connect the same way. Their consciousness, their energy is out there, and it is available for us to connect to. It is available for all of us. You can reach out to, I know I'm getting a little woo-woo. I'm getting a little hairy-fairy for some people right now. You can connect to the energy of a prior life. You can connect to and it's past, present, and futures all together. You can connect to yourself in the future. You can connect to a different version of yourself, which kind of answers one of the questions that we're going to talk about next week, like why do some bad things happen and why do some good things happen? But I was just going to say something and I lost my train of thought. Oh, deja vu. Things like deja vu are memories of something that has happened before, and it's almost like we're catching up. I can't remember. I heard a better analogy for this, and I just can't think of it. I'll have to rethink of it. It's from someone who channels Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar. Explained how it's like the grooves in a record, and deja vu is not just that it skips, but it's almost like we're catching up with a future version of ourselves, and we feel it, like we just feel this little glitch in the matrix, so to speak, and that's deja vu. but it's just us either remembering present or past or future, remembering something and kind of reconnecting with it. But I'm not explaining that right, but that's okay. But deja vu is one indication that we have access to other consciousness. What was the other one? Oh, if you recognize souls in this life, like there's people that have you said this? I know you have. You've met somebody and gone, God, I feel like I've known you all my life. Those are the people, brothers, sisters from another dimension. I don't know, but you get that feeling that you've known someone before. It's because you have. You've been connected before. Okay. Let me just see if I answered Donna's question. Yeah, and we all do. We all understand more on the other side than we do here in our physical body, and there's a reason for that. It's just because we're learning. It's like we're playing a simulation. We'll talk about simulation theory another time. That's really a whole different topic. That what we're in right now is a simulated game, but we're the ones who are actually playing the game. So, yeah, we can go way down the rabbit hole with simulation theory. Time is not linear. Nope. Time is only linear here. That's what I have to figure out with the whole gravity thing and time. I've got to play with that some more because I think that's part of I believe that gravity is what holds our energy in place. And it's the release of gravity that lets the energy float. Like when we leave our body, does then gravity not have a hold on us? And that's I don't know. Anyway, there's more about that to explore. I can go way down the rabbit hole if you're loving woo, because I love the woo. Okay, let me see what else we got here. People would ask if Asia and Lexi. So we're talking about twins. I'm not 100% sure what that was. I haven't been following the whole discussion. So, the most intense deja vu. I kind of love deja vu because now I get it. Like I understand that it's me kind of catching up to. I will definitely have to explore for you guys. I will re-listen to the Bashar interview that I heard where he explained deja vu and how it is we have with everything that we desire. We might even get deja vu about animals. So let's think about our desire to have our animal back in our life. And so we do an activity like write out, like I explained what I would do with Jack. You don't have to write it. You can think it if you want. You can speak it if you want. We have created this version of Jack. So there is a future version of ourself that now exists with our animal companion again. We've created it. It's energetically created. And then in our physical body, we are catching up to it. And the more we practice like asking for signs and intentional connection, and I know I'm not explaining this well, we're kind of catching up with that future version of ourselves. And that's what causes deja vu. But I'm not 100% sure I explained that right. I will explain it better later. My cat jumped into my heart for Christmas last year. And when I went to the store, she was jumping. I like that tree with all the snow. Oh, that's beautiful, Anna. That's beautiful. Hi, Ocean Lee. We were chit-chatting about you. We were talking about animals that cross in a short period of time and how emotionally crushing it can be, but that it's not meant to be. So hopefully, I don't know how much you've been watching, but you need to go back and watch some of this because I explained how we can reconnect in a way that helps them reincarnate and come back to us. Okay. I'm not paying any attention to time as we start talking about the woo-woo. Okay, so that is what I have on that topic for now. The more I explore, the more I will share with you guys. I want to share with you what Selfie had to say. I got no information about Selfie, and that happens a lot. And I think that people may be not intimidated. That's not the word. They may be unsure. They feel, what's the word, guys? If I'm feeling lack of confidence, whatever. But I'll just get, please do a reading for Selfie. And it was just this beautiful picture of an older dog, beautiful, long, had to have some yellow lab, but there was some tan and some white, beautiful long hair, but definitely a senior pup. So what I did get, even just from looking at the picture, when you guys send me pictures of your animal companions, I love to look into their eyes, and even through a photo, just looking into their eyes, it's almost like a connection to the field. Well, I shouldn't say almost. It is my connection to them in the field, just looking even at photos of their eyes. I love to gaze into their eyes and see what they have to say. So I got a sense that Selfie, who maybe Sophie, was a very old lady, but regal and royal and queen and my queen. And I thought how interesting that royalty kept coming up for me this week with Prince Charming. But this is what I got about Selfie: regal, royal, queen, my queen, also very frail. I did get a sense of brittle bones, tenderness, sore bones, not arthritis. Yeah, brittle bones. That was a very frail, very, very frail. Also, that she had several health issues. She was not well, but she was very happy, very happy, very content. I don't know that she was helped. Most animal companions don't share with me the way in which they transition out. It's not relevant to them. It doesn't. It really truly is not relevant to them. They don't even recognize that they've crossed sometimes. But anyway, so she was very happy, very content. Now she specifically said she's reincarnating. And I'll tell you why she's reincarnating. But first, the other thing I wanted to know. So if I can get Selfie's human, and I don't know if it's a name that was that I couldn't gather the pronoun male or female. So we'll just say that what I want to ask is, was Selfie a mama? I got a sense of her giving birth to many puppies, like many times over. I got a sense of her having many, many puppies. And she is going to reincarnate as a puppy. Here's what she had to say about reincarnation. We've talked a little bit about this before, but I think it ties directly into tonight. She is reincarnating because her human companion expects it. In his or her, and I don't know anything about this person, in his or her tradition, culture, it is expected that everyone and everything reincarnates. And because Selfie's human expects it, that is what will happen. It is a natural part of everything for them. She's not second guessing it. There's no, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Will I come back as this or will I come back as that? There's no question that Selfie is reincarnating because her human expects it and knows it and doesn't, like, there's no question. It's not even relevant to ask the question. It's understood that everything reincarnates. How will your human know that it's you? Well, Selfie has a very interesting mark on her forehead. I wrote down, I called it the third eye mark. She has a very interesting mark on her forehead, and that's the way that you're going to know. You're going to know because no matter how she comes back, she will have that same mark on her forehead. So if anyone's ever had an animal like that with markings that right away you knew there was no mistaking, that's how that third eye mark will be present, and that she's returning as a puppy. Then the last thing I got was a sense of a little song. A little song. I couldn't understand it. I could not understand it. It was more like a chant. I didn't understand the words. It was in a different language, but it was deeply moving and deeply personal and beautiful and almost haunting. That's the melody that I was hearing. That was words that I was hearing in my mind. It's beyond something I can describe. And she heard you sing it. Whatever song I was hearing, even though I can't understand what was being said, she heard you singing it to her at end of life. Sing it when you are ready for her to return. So if you are ready for her to return, begin singing that song, whatever it is. Sing the song for her return, and she will return. Okay, that really just brings up one last thing for me, and then I'll let you guys go. If there is something special that you did with your animal companion, I think it is important, if you want them to reincarnate. Like up until now, I would have said that Jack, Lucy, Winston, I would honor their preferences. I would honor the fact that they are unique sentient beings who have preferences and choice. And while I know that Lucy jumped right into my heart, I earlier had a sense that Jack was an old soul, and might not ever choose to come back. Winston coming back to a different family. I would honor their choices and their preferences. But now that I've kind of brought Jack back into existence, I suspect that he's on his way. I can just feel it. I suspect he's on his way, and it's going to happen in the most unusual way. But if you would like your animal companion whose relationship is part of you forever, think about something unique that you did with them. Was there something special that you would do with them? Think about it and write about it, or just think about it, or dream about it, or just call it to mind every once in a while. Call it to mind every once in a while and really start to connect with them. Ask for signs, offer signs, talk to them, ask to receive messages, because that's the way your energy can reconnect again. And when our energy in our physical body connects with their energy in the field, and we keep that connection open and we talk to them, and it's just like it's any kind of a relationship. We are holding it dear, and then we together we can create with them how they want to come back into our lives. All right, that's enough for reincarnation right now. There is so much more to explore. I know that we are just the tip of the iceberg on understanding all of this, and once we do, it's gonna change everything. It's gonna change everything because we no longer will have to suffer. We no longer have to be in pain when we know that our animal companions, they're simply leaving one body and coming back in another. Okay, that's it for now. All right, guys, let me see. Skeptical if they provide too much info, perhaps they won't believe or will doubt what you say. I'm not 100% sure what the question means. Skeptical if they provide too much info, perhaps they won't believe or will doubt what you say. Okay, I'm sorry that I'm not 100% sure what the question means. But will our animal companions doubt us? Can we ever provide too much information? No, 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 not at all. Uh, in fact, that's the other thing that as I was studying a bit about quantum physics, is that physicists are now calling energy information. That's what it is information, just like computers and bits of data, and only it's in the energetic field, and we are accessing that information, and the information doesn't matter. It's semantics, is organizing itself in a way that we can physically get in touch with it. Okay. People who don't provide info and asking for, yeah. Okay. Right. There's always the skeptical bit. That's 100% true. They don't give me, and I generally don't ask for a lot of information. So when people come to me for private readings, I usually say, just let me know if there's a couple questions that you want answered, but try not to give me too much information because I don't want to be influenced. But yes, it's oftentimes it's because they're skeptical that that what I'm saying is not real and not true. And of course, it's not me who's doing the talking. It's not me who's getting the information. I'm simply being the conduit. And yeah, so it's okay if they don't give me that, if they don't give me any specific details. But questions, I like to get questions because it helps me kind of get some more direct information from the animal companion. All right, my friends, I am off to go play with my granddaughter, and I will see you guys all next week. Probably still in Wisconsin next week is the plan. Miss my baby girl, and yet I know what you say. It's okay. We are all that way, and part of it comes from, and then I really do have to go. Part of it comes from the fact that we are conditioned since children to believe that it's a loss. Using the word, we've lost our animal companion. We haven't lost anything, except perhaps their physical comfort, but we can bring that back to us. We truly, truly can. Okay, that's it for now. My friends, thank you for joining me tonight. Have a beautiful week, and I will talk to you again next week. Take care, everybody. May animals light your way.